All right. Well, welcome you guys on this wonderful Thursday evening. This is our special C4 event where we have a wonderful special guest with us, Scott Aaron, who is here to do a special workshop for C4 for all of us who've seen him speak there as well. And he's a business coach, he's a best-selling author, a speaker, a podcaster, and my personal favorite explanation of him, a human connection expert. I just love that. That warms my heart. And he's going to take over. I'm not going to say a whole lot, but I do want to say something about this wonderful book that he has written. If you guys have not read it, it is a must-have. It's absolutely amazing. I bought it and took it on an airplane, and I read it by the time I took off in DC, and by the time I landed in California, and I could not put it down, and it was amazing. So this is an amazing book to have, and it's really just a how-to, and it's got a lot of heart in it. So Scott, thank you so much for being here, and we're just so excited to hear from you, and please take it away, Scott Aaron.
Thank you, Natasha. I appreciate that. And yeah, the book was a passion project. I put a link to both of my books. And the one thing that I'll tell you guys is that even though they're keyworded with network marketing, they could be applied to any business, not just network marketing. That was kind of like the example I gave in the book because, you know, network marketing is connection based. The more people that you connect with, the better of a business you can grow. So if your business requires other people, it's just taking the shape of a network marketing business, obviously just in a different way. And I actually am putting the final touches on a follow-up to that book. And it's actually a full workbook. It's going to be about 46 pages. And it's called the Marketing Workbook for LinkedIn. So it's an evergreen workbook that obviously it's going to be paperback, and literally it's going to have exercises that you guys can go through. It's with my editor right now, so just making some final edits, and that book should be available on Amazon the end of Q3, early Q4. So that's, you know, a companion to the LinkedIn book for network marketing. I wanted to make something a little bit more evergreen. So when people saw the LinkedIn book come up, they didn't say, well, I'm not in network marketing, maybe I shouldn't get it. So people should, either way. Obviously, it's on Audible now. They picked it up about 3 months ago, which was really exciting. And, you know, I know that some of you did see me a few weeks back on the C4 call. So you guys kind of know a little bit of my story and shared the vulnerable moments of my life, and you know, my father's incarceration, which kind of thrusted me into entrepreneurship and you know, got me into the fitness industry and made millions, lost millions, and you know, married and divorced twice, and you know, the things that I had to progress through and flow through to get to where I am today. And you know, I was on a podcast earlier today, and someone asked me, they said, you know, what are two things that really make you special? If my mom was asked that question, she would probably give a laundry list of things. But I would say that the two things that, you know, what has helped me succeed is, number one, my resiliency. And in business, it doesn't matter what business you're in, whether you own your own company, whether you're an independent contractor, where you work, or whether you work for someone else, you got to be resilient. You know, the only way to get from point A to point B is to keep moving forward. You know, and I use the analogy of always flowing through life like I'm, you know, on a life raft down a river, and not like a beaver where I'm putting dams. And if you think about what beavers do, is they put dams up to stop the flow of water, and they kind of sit in their stuff however long they can be there. And it just doesn't serve you. The other thing that I can attribute to my success is that I feel I'm the epitome of consistency. If anyone has been following my journey over the last 7 years, I don't miss a day. No matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on in my personal life, I don't miss a day. And consistency is the cure-all for feeling stuck in life and in business. You know, when you are massively consistent, that's when the compounded effect can take place. So what I'm going to go over with you guys today, it's not my gospel. It's more or less what I have discovered, what I have created, what I have found to help me create the seven-figure coaching practice that I have today. When I started using LinkedIn back in 2014, 2015, I could have never imagined it would have taken me this far. You know, and there's a lot of people say, you know, you're the LinkedIn expert, you're the LinkedIn guru, and how Natasha basically said, I consider myself a human connection expert. I just use the platform of LinkedIn to heighten my ability to connect with other people. And LinkedIn is one of those platforms that you only know what you know. And from what I've found with all the conversations that I have, people are wanting to know more. So my goal tonight is to educate and inform you guys on why you should start taking a look at LinkedIn for multiple reasons within your business. Not to convince you that Facebook and Instagram aren't working the way that they once did. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I despise Instagram. And the reason why I despise it is that it's all fake. There's actually a medical doctor actually came out. He wrote an article in one of the medical journals. There is now a syndrome that Instagram is giving people. They spend so much time on Instagram looking at other people's lives, thinking that they're perfect, that they actually get sick because they're seeing all these amazing things that other people are doing, and then they start feeling bad about themselves and they get clinically depressed. And that's not what social media is supposed to do to people. And that's another reason why I love LinkedIn so much, is because people are so willing to take it from online to offline as quickly as possible. I had calls today with people in 4 different countries around the world. I wouldn't be able to do that if I was just using Facebook and Instagram. So what I want you guys to take away today, and I'm going to go over the 4 major layers of LinkedIn. And I'm going to get into in depth what those things are. And again, I've given you guys some resources on the right-hand side, access to both of my books on Amazon. If people do want to find out more about how they can coach or consult with me, I do give free 15-minute discovery calls. There's a free download for you guys, the 4th link. It's how to start to optimize your profile, which I'm going to get into more specifics when we jump in. And finally, my podcast, which it is Network Marketing Made Simple, but I've had the fortunate ability to have some incredible guests come on my podcast. Some of the most successful people I know, multiple 7- and 8-figure business owners that really let my listeners into what they have done, sharing the story, not the glory, because it's really easy to see the success that someone's having right now. But the most important thing that people should look at is the journey of that individual, because it's not where they're standing right now. It's what they had to do to get there to where they're standing today. So I'm a very active trainer. So to make sure that you guys retain the most information possible, I'm going to need your assistance in using the chat box. I'm going to walk you through a few different exercises to help guide you guys individually how you should be using LinkedIn. So we're going to just do a practice round. If you guys are ready to learn some LinkedIn, type Y or yes in the chat box. And I will repost them after everyone is done writing yes. All right, so Shay, those are all the resources right there. Let me know if you saw them come up. And Shay, all you have to do is scroll up the chat box and you'll see a bunch of the links right there. Okay, and again, Natasha's gonna send them all out to you guys when we finish. So let me just bring up my presentation. Okay, cool. All right. So what we're going to go over is the power of LinkedIn, 10 things that you need to know. And obviously we're going to dive deep into, certain aspects of what needs to be done on LinkedIn. So why should you use it? Well, it truly attracts the right business partner, client, customer. So what people need to know, type in number 1 in the chat box if you're in B2B or B2C, or what I call H to H, human to human. Type in number 1 in the chat box. Good. So just to let you guys know, and I'm going to go over this stat a little bit later, 80% of all B2B and B2C leads come in from LinkedIn. 80%. I believe Twitter's next at 12%. I think Facebook's at 6.7%. And I think Google Plus, or the Google search is, I think, 0.6%. So it will attract the right customer and client for you guys. But also you can build a huge network quickly. Gary Vaynerchuk says this, he goes, your net worth is always in direct correlation to your network. So if you're taking a look at your net worth and you're not happy with where it is, take a look at your network as well. So if your network is small, you don't have the ability to grow a large net worth. The larger that your network is, the more of a net worth you could create. But also visibility. Right now, everyone, and especially right now with COVID-19, people are doing whatever they can with the skills that they have to be more visible on social media. What can I do so more people see me? LinkedIn allows you to become more visible, which can lead to even more conversation and business opportunities. At the end of the day, those that speak to the most people are the ones that are going to win. So again, a little bit more about me. I'm an author of 3 books and 2-time Amazon bestseller, speaker and coach, 7+ years in the network marketing business, building and coaching, 23 years total of sales and coaching, father to that handsome little boy, Taylor. He'll be 8 in September. And that is my beautiful wife-to-be. We're actually getting married 2 weeks from this Sunday. That's Nancy. So just really grateful for all of those and obviously those 2 people in my life. So what problems does LinkedIn solve for business professionals? Well, the problem of going through your warm market and having no one left to talk to. Thank you, Natasha. And then people have to pay for leads and they're spending all this money on Facebook ads, and that doesn't have to be. The one thing that I truly love about LinkedIn is that my network, my connections, my warm market grows every single day. Every day my warm market is growing. You're not having enough conversations organically, daily and weekly. And again, I will get to some of your questions during this, and I'm going to save some time at the end. So Beth, I did see your question. When I get back to that, I will absolutely answer everyone's questions. So you can save your questions for the end. I do like talking to people through things. I will save about 15-20 minutes at the end for us to all chat. So feel free to save your questions as we go. Now, the third thing is you're not having enough organic conversations. Organic conversations are everything, because organic conversations lead to so many other things, opportunities, networking, introductions. But also you're doing too much convincing people to get on the phone with you, convincing yourself to talk to certain people. And that's not what it is. You don't want to convince anyone to get on the phone with you. You never want to convince someone to do business with you. You don't want to convince someone to hire you. And I know everyone does different things, but I'm sure there's been people that have worked with us, have hired us, have become customers of us, and we knew they weren't a good fit and wish we could just give whatever we've given them back because they were an absolute nightmare. We've all been there, but it's part of the learning and growing process. And finally, number 5, people have stopped reaching out. And you really find yourself just recycling the same people over and over again, doing the same things on social media, on Facebook and Instagram, posting the same way, hoping for something different. So we're going to go over a lot in a little bit of time. So the simplicity of LinkedIn, how it's effective for business growth, creating leads, your profile, your avatar, branding yourself, which is so, so important. The proper way to message people. So I'm going to go over something with you guys called the magic formula. Using the automated messages, leaning into the fear. And if you use this platform consistently, it will create massive results for life. So Pieta, she's a multiple business owner. She has an online health coaching practice, but also a brick and mortar over in the UK. And she wanted to work with me because she wanted to learn how to leverage LinkedIn from a more professional aspect. She wasn't so much concerned about her online health coaching business with clients. She wanted to show up and engage with her network more professionally, which obviously led to more business, but also more leads. So Chrissy and Bobby Fertina, they do have an online coaching business as well. It's based around health and wellness. And they had no LinkedIn profile before working with me. Literally, we started from scratch. And within 6 weeks, they went from 0 connections to 1,500 rank advanced in their company and opportunity. And they brought in 18 new clients. 18 new clients into any business is a game changer. That's what's possible. But really creating more leads than time that are in a comfortable range where we're not overwhelmed. And Larry, retired law enforcement from Canada, and he launched an online coaching practice. And he wanted to specifically target more people that were upcoming on retirement or post-retirement. And he knew that they weren't on TikTok, and he knew that they weren't sharing in their Instagram story. He knew that his demographic was on LinkedIn. And he basically said what I taught him took him from writing in the dust in his calendar to madly having to flap off the dust due to the leads that were coming in. So why LinkedIn for your business? Connections. Facebook only allows you 5,000 connections. Now, to some people, that may seem like a lot. And to me, it did at one point too. But here's when it didn't. When I got 5,000 friends on Facebook and my business was nowhere where I wanted it to be. And when I looked at LinkedIn, where you're allowed 30,000 connections, 6 times larger than Facebook, it made sense, because then I can start hand selecting and picking the right people to bring into my network, not friends, family, people I went to high school and college with like it is on Facebook. But also Instagram has the highest rate of fake accounts to real accounts percentage-wise across social media. You don't even know who's real and who's fake anymore. Income. So money mindset is beyond important when you're looking to use a social media platform. Because the question that you have to ask yourself is, can the people on the platform afford my services? Or are my clients spending time on this platform? The average income that someone makes on Facebook and Instagram is $30,000 a year or less, compared to that of LinkedIn, which is $100,000 a year or more. But the demographics, just like I said, what Larry said, the average age of someone on LinkedIn is 30 to 55, where on Facebook and Instagram, the average age is 18 to 29. And finally, lead generation. So Forbes.com, about 8 or 9 months ago, reported on a story that they found from a third party. And what this third party did is they did a study over 6 months comparing organic unpaid lead generation on Facebook compared to LinkedIn. And at the end, they found that LinkedIn was 277% more effective for organic unpaid lead generation than Facebook. So I want you guys to answer this question in the chat box. Just looking at these 4 facts and statistics, because my mom still tells me facts are friendly, where do you guys think that you need to start spending some more time? If you know the answer, you can type it in the chat box. Exactly. LinkedIn. And this is what I mean. I don't bash Facebook and Instagram. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm there to have a presence. But when you look at the glaring numbers, it's hard to ignore. But the deeper things that I love about LinkedIn is location. So depending upon the type of business that you have, you can search, connect, and target your ideal connection and avatar by city, by state, by country, by province. I have clients now in 9 different countries. That's exciting to me. Before I started using LinkedIn, it was one country where I lived. User base. Why is this important? Well, we talk about saturated markets. Are you more likely to be seen on a platform where there are 3.5 billion people or a platform where there are only 600 million? And the answer is 600 million. Visibility is so key. Everyone is fighting over the same attention of the same people on Facebook and Instagram, not LinkedIn. This is where you can create your own path. But also, let's talk about networking, which this entire group is all about. So Facebook is the barbecue of social media. That's where people go to get together to hang out. Instagram is the Bravo TV of social media. It's a reality TV show. It's the Shahs of Sunset. It's the Real Housewives of wherever the person is coming in from. Everyone's looking at everybody else's life, just scrolling through their Instagram stories. Where LinkedIn, it's a global networking event every single time you log on. So let's go over some stats. So the top right statistic is the one that you guys really need to look at. Everyone thinks that millennials are on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. That's what I thought too. I was wrong. Almost 13% of the LinkedIn demographic, 87 million people, make up millennial age. Even the millennials are seeing the change in social media and now pivoting onto LinkedIn. Now, the top right stat is one of the most glaring. 93% of online marketers consider LinkedIn most effective for lead generation. 93%. Glaring statistics are the reasons why people need to start looking at certain platforms. So let's talk about content, which is one of the deepest layers of LinkedIn. So the first thing that you need to know, you need to put out one piece of content a day on LinkedIn. One. Not adding 17 things to your story or posting 18 times on Facebook. One post a day on LinkedIn. It doesn't matter if it's a post, if it's an article, or if it's a video. Whatever you're comfortable with. Video's number one, but a lot of people get kind of weary about, they videotape everybody else, but once they turn the camera on themselves, they clam up. So do what's comfortable for you, even though what's uncomfortable will get you the best results. But I always meet people where they are. The second thing you want to do is, if you're going to put content out, make sure that it does one of two things. Educates your audience on something they need to know, or informs them of something that has helped you that you know it's going to help them. That's how you're going to bring people closer to you. People want to be helped and served. And that's what the content allows you to do. So how-to posts, lists posts, 6 ways to best enhance your meditation practice or whatever it is. They get 2 times more views than just doing like a motivational Monday quote or an inspirational Tuesday or this, that, or the other. Now, user profile pictures. Make sure that it's just a headshot. Neck up, especially the ladies. Nothing below the neck. Bodies sell. faces connect. Now, for those that may have a network marketing business, never, ever, 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 ever post about your products or before and after or monetary posts on LinkedIn. It's one of the quickest ways that you can get in some deep trouble on LinkedIn. I know people have had their accounts flagged because of that. The same goes for Facebook and Instagram. That's a separate conversation. The FTC is all over network marketing right now, but we can talk about that another time. If you have a proper profile picture, you'll get 21 times more views of your profile and 36 times more response for your messages. And if you are going to write an article, just content. There's no character limit for articles, but for posts, the character limit is 1,300. So I have a blog, and some of you guys may have blogs. So a great thing to do is just to go harvest a blog, copy it, and repost it as an article on LinkedIn. But make sure it's just content. You don't want to attach a video or a picture or a link, just the content. And if you're looking to properly come up with a title, ideally 40 to 49 characters is where you want to be. Now, if you look at the fourth stat on the left-hand side, LinkedIn is the top platform for B2B marketers for content distribution at the rate of 94%. So people have this misconception about business to business. Well, I'm B2C or I'm not in B2B. If you are connecting to another individual that represents a business, that's H to H. You could benefit from using LinkedIn. But like I said, the most glaring statistic of them all, the middle stat. LinkedIn is considered most effective for B2B lead gen. 80% of social media B2B leads come from LinkedIn. Instagram's not even on here. So if you know that one of your problems is you need leads, you need people to talk to, LinkedIn is going to be your place to be. So let's talk about your profile. Now, you guys, I gave you a free download, which you're going to happily use. But your profile is one of the most important aspects of LinkedIn because when Microsoft bought them out nearly 5 years ago, they embedded search engine optimization or SEO. So if you go on Google and you search my name, one of the first things that's going to come up is my LinkedIn profile. So you have to make sure that your profile is filled out properly. The right keywords are mentioned in your headline, in your About Me section, having all your experiences listed, all the jobs, the job titles that you've had in your career, education, licenses and certifications to show your credibility if you have them, volunteer experience, making sure you have all 50 skills and endorsements listed. But the most underutilized portion, an area on your profile, is your personal recommendations. This is the Better Business Bureau of LinkedIn. That is where people go to see your credibility. You want to be an authoritative figure? You better get some recommendations. If someone was to go to my profile, and if you guys jump on LinkedIn at any point, just search and just go to the search bar and just type in Scott Aaron, Forbes, Forbes. I'm also a part of the Forbes Coaching Council. You'll see at the bottom where you go to my personal recommendations, I have close to 430 written recommendations. I don't have to sell. Well, number one, I know what I do works. And number two, I have over 400 people also saying so. Those are the people that are going to speak to your business. You don't want to have to sell. You want your credibility by coworkers, clients, ex-clients, ex-coworkers, business owners that you've worked with, whoever it is, friends, family. Simply go down to that section and ask the people that you know to write you a recommendation. Now, let's talk about your avatar. So what I want you guys to do, step one, I'm going to walk you through a little exercise. The first thing I want you to do is, number one, type in what you do for a profession. So go into the chat box, summarize as clearly and as cleanly as possible what you do for a profession. Copywriting, writing coach. Love that. Copywriter, benefits consultant, life coach, insurance, retirement planning. Awesome. Good. Perfect. All right. Now, the next thing I want you to do, type in the chat box, who is your ideal client? What profession are they in? What is their job title? Who is your ideal client? If you know who that is, type them in the chat box. Business owners. Good. Business owners. Pre-retirees, students and hospital workers. Wonderful. B2B, B2C, event planners, business owners, middle-aged professional women, maybe retired, nonprofit. So for those that type something in, congratulations, you have just defined your business avatar. These are the people that you need to connect with, and these are the networks that you need to create. Now, one last thing. I want you to type in the chat box the personal quality traits that you want your ideal connection or client to have. What are the positive personal quality traits? And you can type them individually. You just do a brain dump, or you can put them in a string. What are those personal quality traits that you require those people? Integrity. I love that word. What are some others? Committed, professional, trustworthy, open-minded, integrity, openness to experiences, creative, innovative, out of the box, empathy, dependability, trustworthy, authentic, empathetic, driven, creative, wonderful, alignment. So I'm just going to pick someone out just to kind of prove a point. So let me go up to Beth. So Beth, you don't have to unmute yourself. I just want you to use the chat box. Beth wrote creative, innovative, out of the box thinker. So Beth, what I want you to do is type Y for yes or N for no if you feel what you typed also properly describes how you view yourself. So what you need to understand is we're all looking for our mirror image. We're special individuals, but our ideal clients are out there. We just haven't sorted through the apples enough to get to them. Because when you can connect with that person that's just like you, they have a similar business background as you, they're the ideal client for you, you can have that relatable story. Pain is the greatest connecting point between two people. Brings on understanding. It brings about trust and rapport. And when those bonds are created, they never can be broken. Those that create the most connections will also earn the most income and leave the greatest impact. Now, so let's talk about your personal brand, which is honestly, between you and me, it's the most important thing that you guys need to do. So I want to move into the biology section of today's training. So if you know the answer to this question, I want you to type it in. What is something that salmon do that most fish do not do? They swim upstream. So what I want you guys to do just for a moment, I want you to sit with that for a second, conceptually. I want you to conceptually sit with that and imagine whatever you're doing right now, whether it's working or not. What if you decided to be a salmon in a world of fish? What if you decided to go against the grain? What if you decided to forge your own path? Everyone's going the same direction on social media and in business right now, expecting something different to happen. When you change nothing, nothing changes. But if you change something, something will change. Just imagine all of you turning around and going upstream, where instead of fighting for the attention and the visibility that a lot of people are in this bloody red ocean, you go upstream where there's a crystal clear blue sea, where each and every one of you has the God-given ability to be the first one to land on that beach, to leave the footprints of success for other people to follow. That's the power and potential of what LinkedIn has. It's where you can have your own voice. You could attract people by the message that your content conveys. You want to find your tribe? You want to find your ideal clients? Right now, LinkedIn is having a Facebook 2012 moment. And for people that don't know what that means, back in the day, 6 or 7 years ago, LinkedIn was or Facebook was crazy. I mean, you could just put a post up and tons of engagement. Right now, as you guys are listening to this, LinkedIn has the highest organic engagement, highest organic reach, and the highest organic visibility on all of social media. People just aren't spending enough time on the platform. So if some of this is starting to sink in and make sense, type a Y or a yes in the chat box. And if you're feeling a little bit more excited about the potential that LinkedIn has for you and your business, type a number 1 in the chat box. Okay, good. Just making sure you're all excited like I am. Now, so let's talk about messaging. This is where the wheels typically come off. If anyone has spent any time on LinkedIn, you probably have been victimized by someone's 18-paragraph long drunkalogue trying to sell you something from the get-go. Hey, check this link out, or buy this program, and go over here. And I mean, it's the most disingenuous thing you can ever do. So what I want to do with you guys is go over something I call the magic formula. And I mean, in my humbled opinion, I feel it's the proper way that people should message people. So number 1, you want to state the person's name first. So, hey, Natasha, great to connect with you. The second thing is you want to tell them why you wanted to connect without mentioning a sales pitch or an upsell or anything. I noticed that you had an online business, as do I. Would love to hear more about it, share more about mine to see how we can best support each other here on LinkedIn. Now, I've done 2 things there. Number 1, I've lowered the drawbridge. I can share the slide deck if that helps. But I think this is also, is this recording, Natasha? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Karen, this is recorded, so you guys will be able to watch this back. So you want to lower the drawbridge. So if I know that she has an online business and I have an online business, it's going to make it easier for her to walk across, because Natasha's going to see that and she's going to be like, well, that makes sense. That's why he wants to connect with me. The other thing I said was I used one of the most important words in the English language: support. So it's been scientifically proven that when someone just reads the word support, it triggers your brain to produce one of our hormone chemicals called oxytocin. It's our feel-good brain chemical, just like serotonin or dopamine or endorphins or cortisol, which is our stress hormone. So someone is feeling good as they're reading this message. The third part is you finish with something called a CTA, a call to action. Questions lead to answers. Statements lead to nowhere. So you have to ASK to GET. You got to ask in order to get. So I would simply say, Natasha, do you have any time this week or next week for a call? So you can bring whatever extra stuff you guys want to bring to that message, but that is the simple breakdown. Name, reason for reaching out, lowering the drawbridge, any time for a call. Now let's talk about the automated messages. So the beauty of LinkedIn is that no connection is dead. Meaning LinkedIn wants you to stay connected to your network. Well, how do they do this? Every day, you'll see in the notification section, it's a little bell on the top right of your LinkedIn screen. And they're going to tell you certain people, connections within your network, are having certain anniversaries. It could be a birthday. It could be a work anniversary. It could be a new job. It could be a promotion. And all you have to do is hit the little button that says congrats or happy birthday or congrats, because it's going to do two things. Number one, it's going to bring up the communication between you and that person. And you'll see how many times you've spoken or maybe not at all. But number two, if they respond, so, I send Christina a happy birthday message. And she says, thank you. I can go back and see that we've never spoken before, but we have similar backgrounds. And I can say, you are so welcome. I hope it was a wonderful day. I know we haven't spoken before and see we have a similar background. Would love to hear more about you, share more about me to see how we can support each other here on the platform. Anytime for a call. So all you have to do is wrap around to your magic formula message to get them on the phone. Sending those messages to your new connections and wrapping back around to the automated messages can absolutely create more leads than time. Now, I want you guys to affirm something to me and for me, but for yourselves before we move through this slide. What people need to understand is that fear is one of the catalysts to success. The more afraid you are, the more willing you are to lean into it, the more prosperity you can create, the more abundance you can create. So, if you're open, I want you to go into the chat box and affirm that fear is my friend. Become friends with fear. So I'm going to use this analogy. Robin Sharma, who's one of my favorite influences, I mean, he's just an incredible human being. He uses the analogy of a downhill skier. So if we were all downhill skiers and we know that we have to lean into the fear and we let fear get the best of us and we lean back in our boots, what's going to happen? We're going to wipe out. You want to talk to people. You want to talk to people that you don't know. You don't want to just post and pray and work off of that warm list for the rest of your life. Whatever's uncomfortable right now becomes comfortable the more that you do it. Think about going to the gym. You don't go once and look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You have to make it a daily habit, a weekly, monthly, yearly habit. Most people are posting and waiting for others to reach out to you. You have to do the work. Those that reach out to the most new people are the ones that are going to win. So let's talk about how LinkedIn is the missing key for every business. If you want to increase your business income, if you want to increase your business awareness or visibility or attention, you want to have more phone calls, you want more clients, you want more opportunities, LinkedIn can solve all of those problems. You use it properly, you'll have massive results for life. I didn't create a 7-figure coaching practice overnight. It's taken 3.5 years. Still, getting on the phone with 15, 20 people every single week. To this day, this one platform truly can solve all of your business issues. But at the end of the day, it's the cure-all for not having people to talk to. And that is the number one stumbling block of why people are not where they want to be. But here's the simple truth. Entrepreneurship, business ownership, the business world, no matter what it looks like to you, it's all about rapport building. It's all about relationship building. And it's all about trust building. And just remember this. There is one aspect of business and entrepreneurship where there is no ClickFunnels, there is no opt-in, there is no email sequence, there is no social media platform for. And that's human connection. To this day, our ability as human beings to create human connection with another person is the number one business building tool that will lead us to succeeding what we truly deserve. So I want to leave you guys with 2 final thoughts before I open up to some questions. Number 1, remember that your failures will always open the doors to your successes. The more that you are willing to fail and learn from those lessons, the more willing you are going to be to succeed. The faster you fail, the faster you succeed. Number 2, always know that there are millions upon millions upon millions of ways of how to succeed in life and in business. And there's only one way to fail: to quit. If you do not quit, if you do not give up, you are guaranteed to find some way, shape, or form of how to get to exactly where you want to be. So I just wanted to thank you guys for spending this last hour with me. I will turn it back over to Natasha for any questions that you guys have from anything that I went over.
Scott, thank you so much. That was wonderful. And I could sit here and listen longer, and I ask you to expound on each slide pretty much, but just awesome. Hey, so I would love anybody to please unmute yourself. And if you have any questions, comments, Karen, go ahead.
Thank you, Scott. That was awesome.
Well, you're so welcome.
How much time, I've pared down the amount of time I spend on social media, and now I'm really going to pare it down to just LinkedIn. How much time a day do you spend on?
20 minutes.
Okay, cool.
That's it.
So post, review, engage a minute, and then go.
Peace. You know, plant some seeds, reap the harvest later.
Okay. And then to narrow down, I guess I sort of know my own question, maybe narrowing down, vetting who I could engage with. So many, there's so many people that really feed kind of the research and work that I do.
Right.
And narrowing it down to a few?
You know, it's when you cast a wide net, you're going to have a wide message. And something that I always come back to is that when you can find a specific niche that really requires you, that's where you can create wealth. So establish yourself as an authoritative figure within a specific niche, you know, because that's when people start, when you start going too wide, it could dilute your message. So I would focus and, you know, write down all the different types of people that you could help and serve and work with, and see which one really lights you up the most. Who do you want to assist and work with the most? And then you start building content around that one or two avatar.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sharman?
Hi, thank you, Scott. That was some awesome information. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I got your book. I read it in April. I've been applying it. I have doubled my LinkedIn connects, but I'm having a problem with search. And oh yeah, my calendar is full. I had to get an automatic scheduler because so many people were coming at me. I keep getting that horrible message. You've run out of your connects for the month. I don't think I'm doing my searches right, so I don't run into that.
Yeah, so they don't tell you, and I've read article after article. So they don't tell you, and that's why I suggest in the book Monday, Wednesday, and Friday do searching, because what I found was I was doing my own market research, and I found that you're given anywhere between 12 to 15 free searches per month, and then on the first of every month they're recycled again and they're reset. What I've also found is that the larger that your network gets, because you know mine's at close to 28,000 now, the larger that your organic network gets, the more they reward you with searches. So if you find that you are hitting that wall before the end of the month, just pick a day and pull back from it and just start searching once or twice a week instead.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cynthia. Oh,
Okay. Hi. That was great. That was a great talk. I liked it. Okay. I'm not very good at LinkedIn. I have an account. I seem to have a lot of people on there, and some of them I know, but I need to like weed them out. I don't know if they would help me. I'm a travel advisor. Mm-hmm. So I would be if I did in the corporate world, I would probably be looking for like schools or people that would do like corporate retreats, but I guess this wouldn't really be a good time for it. So I wouldn't even know what really to start to like, you know, pull that in, rein that in.
How many connections do you currently have right now on LinkedIn?
It's a lot, and I've always had an account, but I don't really.
Estimate how many connections do you have?
Probably 1,000.
All right. So that means you have 29,000 more people that you can connect with.
Okay.
So you haven't even scratched the surface on who you can connect with. So leave the current people that are there now. Uh-huh. Just start building your network on top of what you already have.
But how would I hone on who to connect with?
Exactly who you just said. You know, schools aren't going to be closed forever. So plant those seeds now, have those conversations now so they remember you for when they do open back up.
So you're saying I should go after the schools or go after
whoever your target market is, whoever's going to have those corporate retreats, whoever's going to be doing those vacations. You know, again, right now we're going through a temporary inconvenience. It's temporary. It's not permanent. So take advantage of this temporary inconvenience and be the one that they're going to come to when things open back up again.
Okay, one more quick question. This might help. The blog post. I do blog once a week. So I should just put my blog out there?
Yeah, so go to your blog, copy it, and then head over to LinkedIn and it'll say like write an article, and then just click that button and it brings up a template where you can write an article and just paste it. And then
it
just
would go to all of my connections?
Yep.
They would really get it?
It would go to your network, so it would be in your network timeline.
So it would go to okay. Better than Facebook, because Facebook you don't get anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is business networking, that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Craig?
Scott, really good job.
Thanks, brother.
Everybody energized. So in the work that I do, luckily, I think I've had enough people who would sort of espouse good things about the work that I've done and helping them. But I've never formally gone through and gotten it on Facebook. I've gotten, physical letters. I've gotten email thank yous. I know people have posted on my professional Facebook page,
Right.
separate from the personal, but I mean, it just doesn't get a lot of traffic. And so LinkedIn is the thing that I don't have to continuously direct people towards. The people I want to talk to and engage with are there.
Yeah.
Do I go into messaging and ask the people I'm connected with, or is there something on my page? Or
Yeah, it's on your page. It's on your page. It's the recommendation section. It's below your skills and endorsements. If you've never given one or received one, it's not there. You haven't unlocked it yet. So the simplest thing to do is connect with me. I can write one for you. You can write one for me. It'll start appearing. And then once it appears, a button will appear that says ask for recommendation. And all you do is you hit the button that says ask for recommendation. You type in the name of the client, the friend, the family member, and then the position that you want to be endorsed for, how you know the person. And when you put send, it automatically sends them a private message that says, hey, Scott, would you mind writing me a recommendation? And there's a link that's given to them. They click, they write it, they send it back, and then you put it on your profile.
Okay, so I need one sort of unsolicited one to trigger the whole.
Yeah, just connect with me on LinkedIn and we'll do them for each other.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
You got it.
I'm happy to do one for you, Craig, too.
Yeah, you guys should all do them for each other. You could all have like 20
Absolutely.
each.
We all know each other. We all connect on C4. We all are, recommending each other. So we should definitely make that kind of a thing we all do for one another as a recommendation.
It'll help.
So yeah, that's a great idea. Thanks, Scott. Beth, did you have something to say? Oh, look. He hopped up there.
The dog has something to say?
The dog has something to say. Beth, yeah.
Yes, and Lucy will speak too, I'm sure. Thank you so much, Scott. This was really helpful and instructive. My question to you is that I have a full-time job as an executive director of a nonprofit, and I've also started my own nonprofit. Should I, or is there a way to create a separate LinkedIn profile? Because I'm kind of reaching out to different folks in both those capacities.
Does your current executive director role at the nonprofit interfere with your own nonprofit?
It doesn't. My board's very supportive, knows I've started another one.
Just have them listed on the same profile and connect with people on both.
Okay, I do right now. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
Actually, Beth, yeah, I actually do that too with Wealth Through Wellness. I have that there, and I also act as the host and organizer of C4 on the same profile. And I find that's actually more helpful.
What helps with the keyword searching, so the more information that's on there, the more searchable you are.
Exactly. Anyone else?
Yeah, Scott, after you've connected with somebody and you really feel that your services can help that person, what is the best way to, I guess, introduce what you can do for that person without, coming off like really salesy or pressury or whatever?
Well, I think it's having that, obviously sending that introduction message first, seeing if they're interested in speaking. And then the biggest thing that I teach people is when you do get someone on the phone, make it all about the other person.
Right.
Try to talk as little as possible about what you do, because if you practice active listening and you can hear their pain points, then when it's your time to share what you do, you're basically speaking directly to that person about how you can help without even letting them know that you're doing that. And then at the end of the call, you don't even try to close them. You just say, how can I best support you here? Or what introductions can I do? I did that about a week and a half ago and someone hired me. They're like, well, how you can support me is I need to work with you. So the less that you sell and the more that you connect, the more sales you're going to close.
Right. Or yeah, it's when I do consulting, sometimes I feel like it's you're like an investigative reporter.
Exactly.
And that's
Yeah,
sort of the
just
approach I take. And the listening is the important thing, is what I
active listening. And, you know, I have a stack, and I'll show you guys this. I have a stack of index cards from conversations that I have with people, because I take bullet point notes down. So when it's my turn to actually share my story, I'm looking at theirs and how I can intertwine it within mine to create a more relatable connection.
Mm-hmm. Super.
Yeah, I love that.
Thanks, Daniel.
Nicoletta?
Yeah, thanks, Scott, for this great session.
Absolutely.
Can you say a little bit something about the metrics that LinkedIn used to get that opens up the possibility to do live video? You know, like you have Facebook Live, anybody can do that, but it's a little bit more complicated for LinkedIn. I was wondering what kind of metrics do they use, or what is it that the hurdle that you need to reach in order to be able to have the LinkedIn Live?
No, I mean, I've been doing native video on LinkedIn for 5 years. I filled out an application 12 times to be a live producer. They have a whitelist. They have no rhyme or reason. It's still in beta test after a year. I mean, I see people, and I thought it was about the following that you needed to have. And I saw someone do a LinkedIn Live, they have 1,000 connections. I'm like, all right, this doesn't make any sense. So I think what they do is they actually pick certain people within specific industries that are, you know, obviously authoritative figures and experts within their field, and they basically pick and choose. So I every month or two, I fill out a new application, because you never know where they are in the process. So, you know, just keep filling it out.
Got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Karen? I see
the other
you
Karen.
there. Hi.
I am searching for a new career opportunity, and on my LinkedIn page, I have the open to work and the providing services. Is there any other advice you can give either on my profile page, or a way to stand out during a job search?
So what I would do is, instead of having like open to new opportunities and open for employment, which again, you know, LinkedIn used to be used for recruiters. I would list the things that make sure that you've highlighted everything that you've done, all the companies that you work for, whether you were furloughed or laid off, and leave it at that, and connect with those individuals and those companies, whoever the higher up is, the marketing director, the HR director, and start connecting with those types of people looking to connect. And when it comes time, when you're on the phone with them and they're asking a little bit about you, just let them know your situation. Well, actually, you know, I'm kind of transitioning right now. I actually left XYZ company, and, you know, kind of looking to get back in the game, and wanted to connect with other people within the field, you know, with your background. And, you know, if you had anybody you can do introductions for, or if, you know, there's any positions that open up, I would love to be considered.
Yeah, I guess I mentioned open to work and providing services because those were specific. That's the wording that LinkedIn uses.
Right.
For either recruiters or anyone to see.
Yeah, I mean, they say that. I mean, there's more non-recruiters on LinkedIn than there are recruiters now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no right or wrong thing. There's recruiters will go to the ones that use Sales Navigator. You know, you might appear, you might not appear. I mean, what kind of job are you looking for?
Director of membership for probably a nonprofit.
Okay, so I would really hone in and having nonprofit spread out on your profile as much as you can, and build up as many connections as you can around the nonprofit world and organizations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Scott.
Anyone else? Got some. Karen, did you want to say something else?
I know I already had a turn.
It's okay.
So I have a business page that on LinkedIn for my studio, and pretty much it's dead. You know, I've posted things here or there, but
Karen, that's every business page. Don't waste your time with it, because just like Facebook, business pages, they want you to pay for ads. You know, I have a LinkedIn business page for my company. You know, I get some new followers every week, but my most engagement comes from my organic page. That's the one you should focus on.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
It's okay to have that business page. I'm not saying completely disown it, but focus the good amount of your time growing your network, because if you connect with the right people, when they connect with you, they're going to follow your company page, and you just need to, just produce a couple pieces of content a week from that as well.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
Scott, I was wondering. Oh, I was wondering if you might want to mention SSI. The SSI ratings that you can get on LinkedIn, if you wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, so the SSI ratings, there's a specific website you can go to, and it gives you a percentage score out of 100 that basically says, the keywords. Basically, the higher the rating, the better the profile. I think the last time I checked mine, I think I was at like a 94 or 95 out of 100. But again, what the SSI score is good because it tells you what you need to focus on. So it'll say, you're a 10 out of 10 on connecting, you're a 10 out of 10 on content, but you're not engaging enough within your network. So you got to start engaging more. So, SSI is really good because again, I would say that's more LinkedIn 2.0. I want you guys to focus on just being active first. And then when you really want to start optimizing a whole other way, checking out your SSI score, once you get comfortable with it, because so many people start on LinkedIn, get overwhelmed, and they stop. I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed. I just want you to start moving forward, and then you can kind of move into that 2.0 that Daniel's talking about.
Awesome. Jason, did you want to say something?
Yes, I have a question for Scott. First of all, thank you for doing this lesson this evening. Really enjoyed it. Question about upgrading to premium. Obviously, LinkedIn has a free service that most people start out with. At what point should you upgrade to the premium and begin paying for LinkedIn?
Never.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never upgraded. I never will. I don't believe in paying for human connection. Human connection is created. I don't need to pay some sort of, so if a social media platform is going to launch a free way to use it, then I'm going to use it for free because that's what human connection is. So I never speak on premium. I never speak about Navigator or Recruiter because I've never used them and I never will.
Thank you.
You got it.
That's awesome. I just love that. Human connection is free.
It is. It's available to us every day.
Exactly. It's just about us making use of it. And that's what we all know this. And I love the fact, Scott, that you are, a messenger for this, because that's really why C4 is so dear to me and why I created it, because it is about that. It is about connecting and collaborating and just being there and celebrating each other and doing things, one another, connecting. So that's how things happen. That's how businesses happen. That's how relationships happen. I know I've told you guys, I met Rick at a networking event. This stuff works. So yeah, it's just, it's amazing. Does anybody have any last things to say so we can be respectful of each other's time and Scott's time? Are we good? But this was just wonderful. I have recorded it. We do have the links and everything. Scott, we thank you so much. We're really, really humbled to have you and hear you. And I want to continue all of us supporting each other and just seeing all these wonderful things happening for you. And I'm sure it's just going to get better and better because, you are that. And the person who is giving so much of himself and connecting and helping others do the same, which is what it's all about.
Well, I appreciate that very much. And I'm just honored to be here with you guys and to help in any way that I can. And just, really grateful to be here. Appreciate each and every one of you. And, just please continue to stay happy and healthy and safe during this temporary inconvenience. And I just want to wish you guys continued success.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Thank you. Take care. See you on the 21st.